All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is Candid Conversations with me, Chris and Caroline. Absolutely, this is about you guys understanding some of the aspects about life that most of the times people wouldn't talk about, and we're here to just break the ice, break the barrier, break the wall, have this meaningful conversations so that, of course, at the end of the day, we improve on our lives and we become better. So, Caroline, today I feel like we should talk about some serious issues, especially among the young people, but generally, of course, affecting everyone. That involves us, and I feel like most African parents don't like talking about it. Things to do with how we relate with our opposite sex and some of the activities that we engage in. So yeah, basically, we just want to start off the channel or the episode, with how soon is too soon to have sex. Caroline, what do you think? How soon is too soon?
I don't think there's an age that is appropriate for sex. Of course, they say once you're 18, but I think people should first be knowledgeable. They should know what they're getting into by knowing their contraceptive options, their partners, STIs, everything that sex exposes you to. Okay. So I think until you're in terms with that, you'd say, I think I'm ready for sex.
So basically, what do you guys think about that? Share some of your views on the comment section. Let us know, what do you think? How soon is too soon? Because we feel like, especially in Africa, in Kenya, narrowing it down specifically to Nakuru County and Nakuru Town, we see a lot of statistics showing or indicating that almost 24% of the young people have engaged in early sex, and there is a high percentage of teenage pregnancies. So teenagers are getting kids, babies are making babies. So we just want to understand a bit on that and really break down that topic so that we can, expound a bit more on it and, just give you some few insights on what you need to know about that. So for the case of teenage pregnancies, I'll let Caroline mention something on that. So you've gone into this scenario where, of course, you feel like, you're not ready, you're not capable of handling the situation. So let's put it in this scenario. I think that would be best. I'm dating someone, yeah, and then we have a scenario where my partner or the lady I'm with gets pregnant, and we feel like, we're not yet ready. So let's use that maybe analogy to describe on what we feel should be best when you approach such a situation.
So teenage pregnancies are things that we don't like talking about first.
For sure.
Because most of us are Christians, or if they're not Christians, our religious affiliations say that we should not have sex before marriage.
Abstinence, no.
Yes, but the reality is people are actually having sex way earlier. People are having sex as early as 13.
As early as 12.
As early as the onset of adolescence, the hormones and everything.
Exactly.
So I think as youth, as young parents, as brothers and sisters, we should be open to talk about these things. That way, these younger people can come to us. Because for such a case, the scenario that you've painted for us, you'll find that these two people, their first option would be aborting. Right? Because the guy is too young, he cannot provide for the girl. They are maybe both in high school. The girl is too young, she's afraid of the stigma, the society, the parents, the disappointment, and everything. So I think it might have a lot of, how can I put it? this is not something that most parents, especially the old school parents, may be comfortable with.
Sure.
But I think the earlier you talk to your teenagers, to your kids about sex and everything about sex, I think the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be those parents who are you need to be ambaya. Come on. Like, we are in a whole new generation of kids with internet. They know what's happening. So it would be better if they had it from you than seeking that information, from their peers who also have no clue. Or, even just going into the internet, and you know what the internet has, it's just crazy. Yeah. So you want to build that kind of relationship as early as you can, and mention that, there's this aspect about sex that you need to know about, and how best can you approach it, and I would best say that if you talk to your kids early, and your peers, your friends, could be your brother, could be your sister, unamwambia just take your time first, go and study, focus on some of the skills that you want to build, and that will come in later. But you don't want to be those guys who are just experiencing these things too soon, and you're not really aware of how complex this thing can be. Because the last thing you want is maybe you're 13, you're 15, and your boyfriend is, I don't know what, 18, 17, and you're claiming that you guys are gonna raise the baby, and you don't have any financial sustainability. You're not even aware of how things work. There's a lot of process.
Emotionally mature.
Caroline is a mother. Maybe you can give a bit more on that, like motherhood for these young ladies, the young teenagers that are going through these experiences. Just mention to them how motherhood is. It's not as easy as it is on paper,
I don't know, it's not, because especially as young mothers, we put up very nice photos of our kids.
The baby pictures.
Yes, the baby bumps.
For sure.
And maybe from that angle, they see as if maybe it's just a walk in the park. It's a very beautiful experience. But I think everything has its time.
It's time, for sure.
And for one to be able to bring up children in a good environment, you should be emotionally mature.
Absolutely.
So you might be ready for sex at 18, but are you emotionally prepared to be a parent? And being a parent does not mean breastfeeding this kid, feeding this kid, and changing their diapers. What morals are you going to instill to this kid? And all those. So, I think most of us were sexualized wrongly.
For sure.
And that's why we even don't know what to tell
our kids,
or tell our younger sisters,
and our colleagues, our friends.
Yeah. So I think as long as you have someone who's looking up to you, we should ensure that they learn sex from you first, because they'll learn it right. But if you don't teach them, they're going to be curious. They'll learn it from their peers. They'll learn it from the internet, and they'll not get sieved information. They'll not get the good information. They'll get it ikiwa yote pamoja hivyo. So you can imagine what your kid is going to pick. Most likely what this kid is going to pick, they'll pick things that walisikia kutoka kwa peers, they saw in magazines and all. You might be doing your best, limiting the internet and everything, but you're not all knowing, you're not all present.
Absolutely.
So if you equip your teenagers, if you equip these kids with the right knowledge about sexual reproductive health,
relationships.
Yes. Early enough, you've equipped them with something that is very key, and you're sure, even if, because people make mistakes, they will not make it from a point of ignorance.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that's the thing, if you have experience, you have gone through a situation and you felt that it hurt and it wasn't right for you, go and, instill that knowledge to a younger person and have them, understand the reality of the situation. And then one more thing is on intentions. It's good to mention, especially to our young people, that when you go into a relationship, what are your intentions? At the end of it all, what is it that you want to achieve? Are you just doing this because, you felt like other people are doing it? There's social media, I need to post up my babe, things like that. Why are you doing it? Because once you have that discussion with your partner, whoever it is, scenarios like where you find yourself going through teenage pregnancies or abortions is not a scenario. And in relation to that, we were mentioning earlier on things to do with contraceptives. If you are able to have these discussions and put your intentions clear that, hey, we don't want to have kids now, we want to take time and maybe build ourselves and some income, things like that. So then the best way would be going into family planning and picking some of these contraceptive measures we have. There are various short-term and long-term ones. It could be you guys insist that every time you're gonna hook up, there has to be a condom there. You guys have to use some sort of protection. And the long-term methods, like the implants and the coils. So having that knowledge is what we are trying to approach. The key aspect is information to be delivered to the young people so that they can make better informed decisions about their lives, their bodies, and how even they relate with others, because these are some of the sexual aspects that we miss out and we come to later learn about them way too soon. And we're hoping some of these videos are going to help you to understand that, hey, you're not alone, we're here, we went through this, most people go through these situations. It's just that how you choose to handle it, how you choose to react to it will play a big role in how things end up in the future, right? So we also felt that we should also mention on the aspect of young mothers and young fathers. Let me just give Caroline a minute to talk about the fathers, and then I'll mention something on the mothers.
That is a very interesting topic, because most of the time you rarely hear people talking about young dads. We mostly talk about young mothers. I remember even
boy child. Yeah.
I remember even when we were younger, like in high school, they would tell you, ujue ukishika mimba kijana hata umia, ataendelea tu kusoma, wewe ndio utaonekana, tumbo yako itakuwa kubwa, wewe ndio utaonekana, wewe ndio utabeba hiyo aibu. To some extent, there's some truth in it, because the dad responsible, because even if he's young, he's still the dad. The dad who's responsible, or the boy who's responsible for this, he will still go to school. The things that come with pregnancy will not stop him from going to school. But I think we left out the part where the emotional torture that the young man goes through. Because I believe there is no young man who wants to be ako form 4, then anapita hivi mtu anasema, unajua ule msi ako na mtu na hata aliacha huyo msichana, ama such things. So, and it doesn't have to be people in school, high school. We have people even in campus.
In campus, for sure.
So you're 22, you got this girl pregnant. It may have been a casual or an actual relationship, yeah? So what do? Already unaishi kwa mzazi, you do not have the funds, you do not have a job, maybe you're in your second year. Then if you don't take this responsibility, you'll be labeled a deadbeat. And say maybe you came from a very good background, you were raised well in a religious family, and things happened, and you're here, you're a young dad, you're left with the responsibility. Now you're there. I am a woman, but I can just imagine the process, him trying to process, now I'm going to be a dad, I don't have a job, the man is a provider. What do I do? Do I stop going from school and look for work?
For sure.
Do I take her in? Do we start living together? Do I marry her?
What happens now?
What happens next? So I wish we would get some dads, young dads, people who became dads early, would at least give feedback on that. On that, yes. Yeah, because I'm very interested in bringing that up. I would like that to be a conversation. I want people to talk about it, because we all have emotions, but when it comes to these things, we tend to favor, quote unquote, the woman, because we feel like mwanaume alipeana mimba akaenda. But I believe there are people who
stick around.
No, even if circumstances, kuna mzazi atasema mimi utachukua msichana wangu, I'll take care of her, I don't want to see you in my life.
Sure.
In our lives.
Actually, that's what happens most of the time.
Yeah, and then now the guy anabaki, okay, hata nikiinsist nimchukue nitampeleka wapi? So she's safer there. So this guy is left at crossroads, and I believe if he's a good person, he's going to carry the guilt all through. Even if later in life he starts another family, it will affect him. And we go back to how they were sexualized. I think the knowledge of contraceptives, measures to be taken when people are starting to have sex, is it necessary to have sex in a relationship, can help with such issues.
Amazing. You know, because at the end of the day, you want to understand the aspect that being a parent, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. And if you're not ready for that, then you know, take measures in place so that you can engage and you can have a beautiful relationship at the end of the day, where no one has to point fingers, no one has to blame. You know, I feel like most young people, when they get to that point, they're just like, you know, it's you, it's all you, and then, you know, and yet both of you are in it together. So understanding that and giving the idea that I was told to mention on the teenage mothers is that most of the guys right now are not ready for some of these responsibilities, and they would not be clear about them. So I would say be keen on his intentions, because most guys, what they want, you'll be clear. You can know. So for the teenage mothers, we want to encourage you guys, because that decision is yours, right? And we cannot control what you do. But at the end of the day, understand that teenagers and motherhood, it's happening right now, and we need to embrace some of these things and teach these young mothers about how to, you know, take care of their children and everything that comes with it. And just to encourage you that it's not the end, right? That you can always overcome this, and you can do better, you can be better. And just one more thing, of course, that I feel like we have not touched on is that aspect of the outcomes that come with sex. Even no matter how early it is, there are things to do with STIs. We have HIV. These diseases are still around, you know, and some of the ways you can approach this scenario is that you need to understand that it won't always go the way you think in your head. So if you have maybe a scenario where you feel like you cannot handle your pregnancy, or the couple the togetherness that you're building is not working out, so you need like some time off, there are ways that are legal, you know, on how to handle that. For instance, for the people of Nakuru, there's Family Health Options Kenya, where young people can go for sexual reproductive health and rights, learn more about their bodies, and of course access services such as, of course, contraceptives, family planning, counseling, and all those things. So take that understanding and, of course, get the information. For the people who have gone through it, advise the young people. For the young people, seek the knowledge and make informed decisions. So, Caroline, one more thing before we log out.
My final comment would be, as for us who have the knowledge, the experience, we should take it upon ourselves to take the responsibility to educate the young people in our environment, may it be a family member, a sibling, or anyone you're mentoring. If you're in a position to talk to them about sex, and something that maybe we can talk about in our next episode, I think it's sexuality.
For sure.
and how it has changed. I think people are afraid to talk about gays and all that.
Yes.
I think it's about time
we're going to talk about all those letters. LGBTQI.
Yes.
Is it? I'm sorry. Not to offend anyone, but yeah, we're going to mention a bit on sexuality and just to understand what does it mean, especially in African society, because there's a lot of confusion on that. And of course, like we said, sanitize. Keep the social distance. Of course, hapa sisi hatujaweka, but for you out there when you're going to public places, maintain that distance, wash your hands, protect yourself. Wear those masks when you're going to public places because coronavirus is still a big issue and we want you guys to be safe so that you can get to see more of our videos, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So, subscribe, comment,
like, share.
Amazing. We'll be seeing you real soon. Thank you.
Bye.